record this. Um, and I will tell our agenda again. So thank you all so much for being here. We are here to discuss the Summer Policy Institute with the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy. I hope a few more people can jump on as we go, but we are recording this session and we'll be spreading it out on KyPolicy's social media along with attaching it to our page so that hopefully people can watch in the future and learn a little bit more about the program. So I will get us started off with just an introduction to the Summer Policy Institute, and I'm moving things around so I can read this and kind of look at the camera. So the Summer Policy Institute, KyPolicy's Summer Policy Institute, will bring together students from across the state to participate in a multi-day exploration of Kentucky's top policy issues through a combination of seminars, panel discussions, and workshops. Students will stay on campus at Berea College, build their network with Kentucky public policy professionals, gain confidence in their own advocacy, and gain a general knowledge of how the state's budget and tax system affects Kentucky citizens, how to use data to advocate for policies that build a thriving future, policy issues hindering and helping Kentuckians today, and the legislative process. Students will be paired with a KyPolicy expert mentor based on their policy interest areas and will walk away from the program with a deeper understanding of what issues, of the issues that face Kentucky and a finished product. Tuition is free and it is a residential program. We will stay on campus. The program itself, the Institute will accept 12 to 15 participants. We ask students to commit to attending every day of the Institute and completing 4 one-hour video courses the month before the program so that they're ready to, hit the ground running once they get here. So those, the prep work for the program is that we will have 4 1 hour, and it might be 3. We're kind of still messing with the logistics of the program itself this year, but 3 or 4 1 to 1.5 hour video courses. So the students don't have to attend each one. We know that, summertime, y'all are working, you're doing stuff, you're out there. But if people can be there, it's better to interact and be able to ask questions. But the purpose of that is really so when you get to the Institute, you can kind of hit the ground running, already knowing basics of legislature, how, different policy levels you can pull to make things happen, how the media engages with the legislature, how it actually works, like the nuts and bolts of how the bills become law beyond the School of Rock song. And, that kind of thing. And then once you get here, we will have, there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of learning, but they're with our KyPolicy experts and they really love interacting with students and answering questions and being there with them. But the really, I think, kind of a real fun part of the program is that you will be put into a cohort based on your interest. We'll have different options of learning kind of cycles to go in or lanes to go in. You'll have a cohort of others who are really interested in education funding or criminal legal system work, all different kinds of stuff. And you'll be able to really dig deep into that policy arena and come up with your own policy proposal that you as a group will be able to present to us at the end of the project. So you get to walk away with a solid project that you can then utilize later on, or just at least have something in your hand that says, we understood this policy and this is what we would like to see happen. KyPolicy has a vision of government. So about us, ourselves, KyPolicy has a vision of government that puts people first and fosters equity in all policies. We envision abundant resources for investment in schools, healthcare, infrastructure, and other public goods by requiring those with the most to pay their fair share of taxes. In order to get there, we will need new leaders who can envision a debate that is informed by facts, driven by hope and not fear, and grounded in a belief that all are created equal. SPI aims to foster Kentucky's next generation of public policy leaders by providing current college students and recent college graduates in Kentucky of all ages, backgrounds, and geographic locations within the state with an opportunity to participate in a residential 4-day training in policy analysis and advocacy. So those are like the real quick nuts and bolts of the program itself. We will have more time for socializing than we did last year. We were really heavy on information. We will still be heavy on information, but we will have a little bit of extra time for socializing and fun. And students also get to meet with legislators, advocates, and others working in the policy arena during the program. So that's kind of our brief overview, and I'll hand it over to Ashley to kind of talk about who should apply and how the application process will go.
Thanks. I'm Ashley Spalding. I'm the Research Director at KyPolicy, and for this year's SPI program, I'll be a key contact for students, letting students know if they've been accepted to the program, letting students know what to expect and things like that. So I'm excited to meet our prospective SPI folks, Gavin, Wendy, and Akeisha, and I know that we'll have other folks who watch this call. So I'm Ashley. You can contact me anytime. Who is this program for? So we put a lot of thought into it, and it went really well last year, and so we feel really good about this criteria. So the current college students should apply if they are rising juniors or rising seniors in college in Kentucky. We also want to apply if you're a college graduate and you graduated either in 2022 or 2023. So recent graduates from 2022 or 2023 and you're in Kentucky, then please apply. There's one more criteria though. So if that's you and you can, you're like, yes, that's me. The other criteria is we want college students or recent grads who want to learn how to build a more just, equitable, and inclusive Kentucky. That's who this program is for. And as you can see, we've had, I know we're going to hear from Patience and Lily later, and they are students who absolutely embody that and who made it really clear in their applications that this was the program for them in that way. And so I will talk now about that application process, and everywhere we advertise it, there's a link for applying. And let's see, I'm going to put the link in the chat for the folks who are here, and I know some people have already clicked on it. Did I get it right, or did I? Yes. I love Google Docs, so for a moment I doubted which Google Doc I dropped in the chat. That is the correct Google form, and it's largely, really, there are kind of three general components. One is basic information about you, name, pronouns, your county, and where you're in school, and some demographic information. Actually, maybe there are 4 components. And I'm scrolling through it right now. Like, very, very straightforward. There are a couple of questions that you'll open the form and you'll want to think about how to respond to. One is we ask you to list 2 to 3 state policy issues that you're interested in learning more about. So that's something to think about. And then we also ask, and this is a really key part of the application, we do have an essay, and I'm looking for on the form. I'm like scrolling through quickly because it's a very straightforward form. There we go. Within the form, you will add, either type or copy and paste from another document. In 500 words or less, please tell us why you're interested in being part of the next Summer Policy Institute. which is happening this summer, and describe what participation in the SPI program would mean to you. For instance, how it relates to your personal and your professional interests, or your professional interests alone, and what you're hoping to learn. And that essay will give us a lot of really critical information. So when you open the form, you'll see that, and that you'll want to make sure to really really put some thought into. And then the final portion of the form, we do require that you say yes to, that you indicate that if you're accepted, that you understand the program includes several components, and that you'll participate in all aspects of the program, as they are all needed in order to be successful. One, which Natalie talked about, up to 4 hours of video courses over the course of a month prior to the program, and prep work handouts. And two, in-person participation in the program from July 28th through July 31st. And so you indicate yes, that you will do those things. And then we also just have a place where you can let us know anything you think is key for us to know about yourself. So we're really looking forward to getting applications. I know we actually have some early applicants, and we're three early applicants. And we have a broader team, where Natalie and I will be really key folks in terms of making those decisions, just to put a face, who's receiving this form. We have a great larger team, 9 of us right now. But Natalie and I are really who will be primarily reading and evaluating these applications. So.
Well, and thank you, Ashley. I realized that I had not even introduced myself because I was with friends. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Natalie Cunningham. I'm the Outreach Director here at KyPolicy, and the Program Lead for Summer Policy Institute. As Ashley said, we do have an amazing team here, and we are all hands on deck for this program to really pour into the students that we can get in here. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet is majors on the who can apply. We really want this to be a space where people can really get to know one another, and that they're not all in the same lane. So we already have, political science majors are a given. Obviously, you're interested in policy and how politics work and all of that. But we also believe that, state policy, and again, we're talking about state policy as well. That's why when Ashley mentioned that we really want people that live in Kentucky, it's because we're talking about the policies that are happening here in the state. But those policies touch a wide variety, all of us. Every single one of us is touched by state policy, and our lives are dictated by it. And so if you are a social work major, please, Lord, sign up. Like, your job, your life is going to be dictated by what the state says social workers should and shouldn't do. And it's the same with education or sociology or anthropology. We had one ag student last year that I was really pulled hard to get him in the door, because it's just really important for all of us to understand how policy works. And it's a space where all of our voices are needed in order for it to work best for us. So I just wanted to push that point, that if you are not a political science major, but you understand that this will dictate your life in the future, we still want you to apply, because that grouping, it is really important to us that the group of students that are here are going to learn best when they're not exactly alike. And so that's just one other thing I wanted to dump in there. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat yet, but I do want to give any space for questions, since we are kind of running through this pretty quickly. We're not too far. We're 2 minutes off. But I want to see if there's any questions yet. We can wait for a couple of seconds. All right. Oh, wait, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I don't have my camera on. I'm not a student, I'm a mentor of students, and I found out about this and I'd like to share that with them. So I have someone who is a senior in high school. I know you said rising juniors and rising seniors. But would a senior who's graduating from high school be included?
No. Not
No.
as of right now. We are focusing on rising juniors and seniors from the university level. I was like, I need to make sure that that is clearer on our marketing materials. But on the form, it does say in the summer of 2024, my university level will be. But we need to make that more clear because I do think that it's easy to misconstrue.
Well, and our flyer, just for to respond to your question, Natalie, is it on there? It does say, it says college students who graduate. Okay, so that's a great question. Thanks for asking. And then the program went really well last year, and so we're doing it again this year. And so I'd like to say, keep this in mind for, and I cannot. I'm like 2020, let's see, several years from now, if it's a student who really is still interested in policy, I hope we'll still be doing the program.
And we're looking at building the pipeline. So like Kentucky Youth Assembly is a program that is currently open to high school students. And we've talked with them and just see this as like the next leg for students to learn more.
That totally makes sense. If I said high school, I might have said high school by mistake. I meant college. So
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Please send that student on. Absolutely. I was going to say, yeah, maybe they could.
Seniors and rising seniors, but also seniors and graduates of 2022 and 2023.
Oh, I see. It says rising juniors and seniors and the people who graduated, but what about the people who are about to graduate?
Yeah. Right.
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, so but the answer is yes, they can apply. Okay, great.
Yes, and I think that we should probably change, I guess then we should change the graduate in 2023 to 2024. Anyway, we can talk about this afterwards. But thank you.
This is great.
This is really helpful questions for us to clarify our stuff. So thank you so much. Well, we are at 3:20, so I would love to pass it over to Lily and Patience to talk about their experience. We've been able to keep up with you all, which has been wonderful. So I'll start off with just asking you all, who did you meet at SPI?
I guess I'll go first. Hi, my name's Lily. I'm a student at Berea College. I just thought I should give a little bit of an introduction. But I met a lot of students from different parts of Kentucky. Like, I think most of the people there were actually people who had grown up and lived in Kentucky, but there were a couple students who were like out of state who were just they were in like Kentucky University. But I got to know Patience a lot more on SPI, and now we've become really good friends. So I think it was really nice.
Yeah, my name is Patience. I am a Berea College grad. I graduated in 2022, and I now work for the college. But during SPI, yeah, I was able to meet a lot of peers from across Kentucky, both current students and recent graduates like myself, and also some that had gone back to pursue education after a while from being graduated. So it was really nice to have a diverse cohort when it comes to different backgrounds and intergenerational experience as well. But we got to meet our cohort members, but we also engaged with like grassroots organizers across the state, state lawmakers, and other experts and alongside those of the KyPolicy staff, but other experts who can speak to what it's like to do the groundwork of making these kinds of changes in Kentucky on various levels.
Thanks, y'all. And you can stay off mute. We can just chat. So what was your favorite part of your SPI experience?
I think my favorite part was probably going to Frankfurt. I'd been to Frankfurt for a couple of times, but I liked the way in which KyPolicy set up like a panel, I think there was like one representative and one senator that we were able to talk to. They answered some of our questions, and yeah, like Patience said, we got to meet some grassroots organizers who like came to that same like panel and spoke. So I guess that was probably my favorite part, was like speaking with some of these people.
Yeah, getting to know them and meeting them, learning about that different work. For me, I really, because I had been a graduate for like 6 months at the time, I'd already missed being in the classroom, and so attending the pre-summer institute online webinars that were providing us like that foundational information, and then also the in-person seminar style presentations that the KyPolicy staff, it was really engaging, and like I felt, oh, like a student again in the classroom learning from everyone, and it was very fun. And working with the policy pitch team was exciting, really nerve-wracking a little bit. The presentation was a thrilling challenge and allowed me to grow, but it just felt nice to have that, like student environment.
That's so awesome to hear. I really just came to just look at Shell and say thanks. But the last question we have for you all is if you can just tell us a story about SPI, a moment that you remember, or the stress, or the payoff of the presentations. Any kind of story that comes to mind when you've told other people about SPI.
I think something that I've talked about is, so for our presentations, we actually had like a news reporting group come in and like film us. So that was really interesting to like know that we're gonna be on TV with our presentations. So working together with my group, um, when we were like devising our topic and how we wanted to talk about it, it was really nice to like be able to sit down with people who were interested in the same things. Like, not, I think some people are interested in policy, but not to the same degree as people who come to like an institute about policy. But so it was just really interesting like working with that group of people. And then afterwards I was actually recorded for KY policy to like answer some questions about it. So that was something I told about too. But yeah, I had fun. It was fun.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking when we got to tour the Capitol, that was my first time, really in Frankfurt, like Frankfurt, and touring the Rotunda. It was just pretty incredible to be in that place of feeling the history, both the bad and the good, and it felt powerful. But hearing from people, the staff of the state policymakers and the staff and the legislators, and hearing their experience with what influences their decisions that they make on behalf of their constituents. Hearing that sometimes it really is like, oh, I have my staff supporters keep count of the phone calls we receive, and we like take note of the letters that we receive. We even color code them to see how they add up against each other, to see and hear that there are like individual actions that are made and that influence the real decisions made on the floor. Just was empowering to think like, oh, I can be involved in the process of this policy shaping right now as a citizen and a constituent, and also continuing to learn about the ways we can be involved more in depth when it comes to like the research and the advocacy and just like communicating information to the broader public.
Yay. Well, thank you guys so much. We do have a few minutes for any questions that you all might have that are on the call. So we will just be open to questions for a moment.
Question
Question.
for Patience and Lily. So you all learned a lot. You were enriched. You worked hard. You met a lot of people. What was fun? It was fun, right? I'm sorry. Was it
No,
fun?
okay.
No, it was fun.
It
But
was
I
the
had
meeting,
fun.
the thing that came to mind was the dorms. And there was an attic in the dorms, and we went up there and looked around, and there was a Coke bottle stuck in the wall. And so that when you said what was fun, that was like the first thought that I like remember that we were like
It was
exploring.
L8
It was
specifically.
an ale
It was L8. It
in the
was
wall.
so obscure.
And then we would like come down and we'd see more people and we'd be like, you want to see the attic? And then we would take them up there and show them. So that was like, I don't know, that was really fun. It wasn't related to the program, but it was really fun.
I'll call that the dorm experience. Yeah, dorm experience. Okay.
Well, that just reminds me that this is for 18 and older. So that is another thing that just to say that we are not constantly monitoring, and
Oh yeah.
it's adults, and y'all have fun how you have fun. We're happy about it.
Speak on some really good fun from the program. I enjoyed our like teamwork activity where we were assigned roles and we had to construct models with
Oh
toothpicks
yeah.
and marshmallows, and we were relaying back and forth, and everyone was absolutely straining themselves mentally and physically over trying to be able to replicate these tower models without actually getting to see what we were doing. It was a hilarious example of the importance of communicating details and checking in with your team to see who knows what, and the results were funny.
Yeah, that was really crazy. Yeah, I completely forgot that we did that. I found it a little frustrating, but it was like funny that at the same time to be like, okay, because I was the one who was constructing stuff. So people were telling me what it looked like, and then they'd always come back with something different, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I just want to know what this thing looks like. But yeah, I remember that. We also showed a really good movie too.
Well, Crip
It
Camp.
was,
Crip
yeah.
Camp was that was a great experience to like debrief, watch that movie together and debrief too.
Yeah, it was a really, really good movie. I'd never heard of it before, but it was really nice.
Well, this is great to hear. Natalie designed the marshmallow toothpick activity, or like researched it. I don't know. As far as I know, she's the creator of it, and I picked the movie, so that is great to hear.
Both really good choices. I do want to say that since like this was a pilot program, I could feel the nerves of like, oh, I hope everything goes smoothly. It's our first time doing this. You could not tell that it was your pilot. You could not tell it was the inaugural. It was so smooth sailing, and absolutely props to you all for coordinating that in such a way.
Thank you. And real fast for related to dorms, right? We're talking about dorms and some attic with some bottle. We're going to be at Berea College. Are you sitting in dorm rooms right now?
I am.
I'm not.
Okay. So Lily, that looks like a pretty nice dorm room right there. I won't have you give us a tour, but that's looking pretty nice.
Do you know what dorm we're going to be staying in?
We believe it'll be the one that's across the street. So the one that's behind, I think of campus as like the big fat campus, and then you've got like where Noodle Nirvana used to be and Boone Tavern, and the dorm behind that.
Oh, so Deep Green.
Sure.
Or Shin Hall. That's the new hall. It's called Shin Hall. That dorm's actually pretty nice. It's one of the newer ones. I think the rooms in there are pretty spacious. Like some dorms kind of have smaller rooms, but Shin Hall / Deep Green. The old name is Deep Green, so all the old heads call it Deep Green. But it has pretty nice rooms.
It's a pretty dorm.
Yeah.
And that is the last thing I want to make sure that I forgot to bring up is that it is residential. Last year we did have a student who wanted to drive back and forth, and we kind of relented to that. But I do feel like there is something about being in a container. There is something about the fact that you're there and you're in this space with these people for a set amount of time, and it does kind of set it apart when you don't just go home. So under, lots of people live under a lot of different kinds of circumstances. So we wouldn't want to keep, somebody from applying if for medical reasons or family reasons they have to go home. But there is a special part of just being together for a certain set of days and in that container. So we do encourage everyone to come along with us and really be there the whole time. Well, we have made it to our 331. We have created our content, and we are so thankful for Patience and Lily for being here. And yeah, if there are any questions, please go ahead and come off mute, put them in the chat real quick. All right.
I just had a question about if you're looking for volunteers who have experience in the policy space, or I know that you said that you match people with different folks. So
I would love to hear from anybody who would like to volunteer. I'll put my email in the chat. It's something that we have considered because it's a big pool for all of our, our entire staff to dedicate the whole week. And so we have looked at, did I spell that wrong? I did. It's KyPolicy.
We see.
But, we are interested in volunteers. It also feels like a big lift, to get people to dedicate the time. So yes, it's yes, and we're still figuring out ways that we can put, because we also have a lot of advocate friends who have different levels of experience and expertise in different areas than we do, that I would love to be able to pull in. But again, it's a lot of time to give. We do put together panels, as you know, our students have talked about throughout the week, and so we are, you know, looking to fill those up, you know, in the next, you know, 2 or 3 months. So yeah, absolutely open to volunteers. Please email me. We would love to be able to give our students access to other policy experts that are not just KY policy staffers. Even though we're not just, our staff's pretty amazing. Thank you for asking. Do you have any other questions?
That's all. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thanks y'all so much.
Thank you.
And we'll just keep talking to Patience and Lily far into the future, and hopefully our other students as well. So thanks y'all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.